poppin', gang? Today I'm gonna be talking about what is the best audio interface between the Universal Audio Vault or the Universal Audio Twin X. If you want more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Also hit that like button because it helps out. And hit that notification bell so you'll be notified about more videos like this. All right, gang, so I've got a lot of requests to do this video. I've had a lot of time to play with the Universal Audio Vault. Shout out to Sweetwater, they did send me this. Let me know in the comments what audio interface are you using right now, or what audio interface are you thinking about getting? Personally, I bought the Universal Audio Twin X and I've been having a lot of great times with it. Same thing with the Vault, and I can understand there are some very clear differences. If you want to purchase any of these interfaces, there'll be a link in the description right now. Regardless if you're buying your first interface or you're thinking about upgrading to the newest and greatest, one of these interfaces may be for you and the other one, you might as well not, just don't even go for it. And in the comments, if you already know like which one's better, you probably already know, you're probably right. But by how much? You're probably wrong. When you're getting an audio interface, you gotta understand there are 5 main important things: the build quality, the mic preamps, the line inputs, the headphone outputs, and the monitor outputs. First off, let's talk about the build quality. Both of these interfaces are really great. They have exceptional build quality, and I can tell by it. In the past, I've used different cheaper interfaces. They just broke down on me over time. When you start hitting the volume knob, you start hearing crackling and stuff like that. With these interfaces, you will not get that, regardless if you get the Vault or you upgrade to the Twin X. Both of these interfaces will last a very long time. I gotta say that because they're just built so nicely. And personally, I don't feel like either one is built better than the other. They both feel high quality. If you're getting help so far, go ahead and hit that like button because it helps out. Next, let's talk about the mic quality. I'm gonna place both of the specs side by side so you know exactly which one has more than the other. And if you're looking at the specs, you'll probably see that the Twin X has more specs or has better specs, but not by much. I'm gonna do an audio test with the mic inputs and let me know if which one sounds better. I'm not gonna use any preamps. It's just gonna be microphone straight into the interface. No unison plugins, no none of that. And I'm gonna be using a Neumann TLM-103 for this test. This is the microphone test. While I'm using the microphone front in these interfaces, you should definitely try out the musicgain.com. If you need my Pro Tools template that I use for paid sessions, or you need FL Studio's template for harder hitting beats, or you need my personal Universal Audio Console template, the link is in the description. Get your copy today. Let me know if you guys heard a difference or not. Now from that moment on, now the X starts taking off a little bit more further now. Personally, in my personal test, because you might not understand or hear the difference with YouTube's compression. With the Twin X, you get a bit like more detail in the vocals when you're recording. And it's not a lot, but it's like a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I really notice it like in the low end. You can really hear it in the low end. You feel more bass, but it's not a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, wow, this is a huge difference. It's not night and day difference. It's by a little bit, but you do start hearing a difference when you start adding unison plugins. My personal favorite is the Neve 1073 unison plugin preamp. With the Universal Audio Vault, you don't get that option. You just use the bare basic Universal Audio clean preamp sound, which is not a bad thing. It sounds really great. You can use other plugins to manipulate the sound and stuff like that later on in the process. But with the Twin X, you just have a little bit more options and just a cleaner sound overall. If you were to do a song with the Universal Audio Vault, you probably wouldn't be able to tell a difference which interface is used because the mic preamps are that good. They're really that good. You do have the option to add 1176 compressor and a Ventus preamp, which sounds really great. When it comes to the Universal Audio X, it just takes off into a whole nother lane when you have different type of options like the Neve 1076 preamp and other various different preamps that you can use, like the SSL channel. You can use that preamp and get the SSL sound with the Twin X. And with that being said, like I said, the Vault does sound really good. You just have way more options with the Twin X. Next is the line input. Now personally, I use the line input. Most people don't. And you're gonna use this if you're using like a guitar or you're using a external preamp like I do. And I'm using that right now. I'm using a Neve 1073 preamp on the shotgun microphone that I'm using. I'm gonna throw the stats up so you can see which one is better, but you pretty much obviously know which one is. But if you're looking at the stats, it's not by much, just by a couple like 10 dB better, you know what I'm saying, with the Twin X. And with the Twin X, you just get a little bit more dynamic range, whether you're using the mic input or the line input. And what that basically means is that you just get way more frequencies in your recordings. Like I was saying earlier, I could tell with the Twin X, you just get way more deeper bass and way more clear highs with the Twin X, but it's not by much. It's like very minimal. Hit that like button if you're getting help so far, man. Next is, okay, now this is a big one for me because this is very night and day. Next is the headphone output. Now, as soon as I plugged in the Vault and I heard the headphones output, they sounded really great. They sounded really good. Pretty much what I'm used to with other interfaces, but like this is a little bit better. You know, I used to always use the Scarlett 2i2 all the time. When you turn it up all the way, you get distortion. With the Vault, you still kind of get that distortion, but it still sounds way better than the Scarlett, way better. Now with the Twin X, oh my God. It's like another level. It's like something I can't even explain because I've never had this in an audio interface before. I sit down in the chair, plug my headphones in for the first time, and I listen to this thing, and it literally separates things so clearly where you can hear every single little issue, you can hear every single little thing where you know for sure, like if you're a mixing engineer, okay, I know exactly where I need to start at. I know exactly what I need to do. Versus with the Vault, it's not as clear. Like it sounds very great, don't get me wrong, but it's not as detailed as with the Twin X. And if you're thinking about getting the Twin X or the 4X or something like that, basically the same thing. Basically, if there's like an X in the universal audio interface names, they're using their highest converters ever. So yeah, but I can definitely tell night and day. The headphone output is extremely good. I've never had an interface where I heard that the headphone output as good as the Twin X. I've made better decision making with the Twin X when I'm mixing and mastering songs, and I don't think I'll be able to do those same decisions while I'm using the Vault, only because like the quality is literally night and day in my eyes. You can literally turn it all the way up, no distortion at all. It doesn't matter there's no distortion on the Twin X, unless your music is way too loud and you're mastering way too hard. But if you're getting everything to sound like industry quality loud, there's going to be no distortion at all. And personally, I can kind of really tell that there's more dynamic range in the headphone outputs with the Twin X. It just sounds, you just hear way more frequencies more clearly versus like with the Vault, you got to turn it up more just to hear more frequencies, and then you start getting into distortion and stuff like that. I don't know what they got going on, but it's a clear difference for sure for me. I can definitely tell. Next is the monitor output. Now, I can definitely tell that there is more dynamic range with the Twin X. Again, it's like you just hearing way more problems to fix a song. All the problems jump out way more on the Twin X versus with like the Vault, it's kind of like mixed in a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. Like with the Scarlett 2i2, like you thinking you're mixing the best song or whatever. Next thing you know, you play Little Baby and the quality is just way better. That's kind of how it is with like the Vault and the Twin X. Like the quality is just way better when you plug in your speakers. You just hear more low end. You just hear, it just sounds way more just detailed. But the Vault really sounds good. It sounds better than the Scarlett for sure. Like I've used the Scarlett for years and I can tell like it just sounds way more clear than the 2i2. The Vault sounds way more clear than the Scarlett. And I'm gonna throw the stats up so you can see them. Like I said, it's really not by much. As you can see here with the stats, they're a little bit more far apart when it comes to like the monitor outputs. But personally, I can definitely tell a difference. It's just way better with the Twin X. Now, who are these interfaces for? Personally, if you're a producer and you're just into making beats, you probably record here and there, but you're not into mixing and mastering. You just focus on making beats. You might record here and there, you know what I'm saying? Not often, and you're not really getting paid to record songs. I definitely say go with the Vault. It's a really great interface and it's well priced, you know what I'm saying? You shouldn't go wrong with this, and it has something over the Twin X that the Twin X cannot do. With the Vault, you actually can hook this up to your phone, your iPad, get on the Clubhouse app, and then use your Neumann TLM 103 or whatever microphone that you have, you know what I'm saying, to get crispy quality sound, you know what I'm saying? You could probably go live on IG and then plug in this interface with your iPhone and just get crispy quality, you know what I mean? So you have different options with the Vault versus like with the Twin X, you can't do that stuff. So there's a purpose for this, regardless if you even have like a 4X or a Twin X or something like that. You know what I mean? If you're using some of these apps, or you want to take your studio mobile and just use your phone or your iPad to make and create music, you know, you can do that with the Universal Audio Vault. Now with the Twin X, if you're like into mixing and mastering, you get a lot of paid sessions. You're getting a lot of paid work sent to you so you can like fix up and stuff like that. The Universal Audio Twin X will be plenty enough power for you to do all that kind of stuff on. Like I said, the first time I plugged in my headphones to the Twin X, it was like, oh my God, I've never heard like sound so clearly in a way where I know exactly, okay, I need to get to work on this song, you know what I'm saying? Even with like celebrity songs, it's like, oh, I think I know what he used. You know what I'm saying? Like I have those moments with the Twin X because things were just so clear. And it's something that you actually got to try yourself. I can't really explain it because I've never even had this moment before with the interface. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time it's like, oh, I gotta listen to it a couple times and then to get the understanding of how this interface sounds, to know exactly how to get the highest quality, which in most cases you do with audio interfaces. But with the Twin X, you don't have to do, at least me personally, I didn't really have to do that because the sound quality was just so good, so clear, and it just felt like the doors were just open to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I know exactly what plugins they might be using because it just felt so obvious. All the little mistakes, I can just hear it. You know what I'm saying? Some Drake songs, they leave the static in there and it's so annoying. Like, I don't understand why they do that. Like, why they keep the static. But me personally, I call that out. But you know, with the Vault, you might be able to hear something like that, but it's not as clear with the Twin X. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this video was able to help you guys make a decision. If you guys want to download any of my templates, there'll be a link in the description for Pro Tools, FL Studio. If you guys want to download the Universal Audio templates that I use for my console app, there'll be a link down there as well. And not to mention, you have the opportunity to use Universal Audio plugins with the Twin X. With the Vault, they do have this new thing called Spark, and you know, it's a great thing right now that they're releasing these plugins off of computer power, but you know, they don't have all the plugins right now. You gotta wait for that. They don't have that for Windows right now, so you have to wait for that. And who knows when that's gonna come out, you know what I'm saying? I do think the Twin X has way more options and it sounds really good. For what I do, you know, I mix and master songs and stuff like that, and I record songs on a daily basis. Sometimes I used to have a lot of paid sessions. I don't do that anymore because I moved to a different location, but that's another story. You guys stay safe, and remember, it's only a matter of time. Peace.